Hello, my name is Rebecca Moore. I am going to be presenting a persuasive speech today called Reducing Single-Use Plastic Consumption and Waste. The purpose of this speech is to highlight the unintended negative environmental impacts caused by single-use plastic. Single-use plastic waste has become an international problem that threatens coastal habitats and marine ecosystems around the world. Each year, millions of pounds of single-use plastic waste enters our streams and oceans, and if action is not taken globally, the problem will continue to grow exponentially. Many people consider this their contribution to recycling single-use plastics, but each year, millions of pounds of single-use plastic waste finds its ways into our streams and rivers and eventually to our oceans, putting many species of marine life at risk and also creating unintended health consequences for humans. I became very active in recycling when I lived in Alderson, West Virginia. And over the 4 years that I lived out there, I was introduced to many aspects of the recycling industry and the amount of waste Americans generate each year. I'm currently in environmental sociology, taught by Dr. Hendrickson, and my passion for the environment has been renewed. And one issue I'm focusing on in my own life is how to reduce my own use of single-use plastics. I would ask everybody join the cause. It is a good cause. To begin, I will explain what single-use plastic is and why creating it and using it is an environmental catastrophe waiting to happen. Going to begin by sharing my screen with you and showing you an image that was sourced from Single-Use Plastic 101. In this article, Courtney Lindell explains that single-use plastic is made from petrochemicals and synthetic polymers. Single-use plastic is intended to be a one-time use and then discarded, like in our water bottle. And single-use plastics consist of many items such as straws, bags, candy wrappers, packaging, and beverage bottles. The image on my screen is taken from her article, and it shows a bale of recycled single-use plastic. Since 1950, 18.3 billion tons of single-use plastic has been produced, according to earthday.org in their fact sheet on single-use plastic. Also, that of the 18.3 billion tons, only about 4.15 billion have been produced in the last 15 years. So we are seeing an increase in the production of single-use plastic more than any time in previous history. 300 million tons of plastic is produced each year, and over half of this is single-use plastic. So you might be thinking, what's the big deal? Why is it so bad for our environment? I'm going to show you another image that was sourced from the National Geographic from their article, The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So what happens with plastic is it has started to create a throwaway culture, according to Courtney Lindwall, which means that we are ever increasing the amount of waste we generate and throw away. According to the National Geographic, there are significant long-term risks to the environment, wildlife, humans, and marine life. According to earthday.org, plastics do not disintegrate. They only break down into smaller pieces that are then consumed by wildlife and fish, and then also consumed by humans eating the fish. This image that I'm showing you right now is the accumulation of plastic after it has been disposed of, found its way down some rivers and streams, and then out into the ocean. Other causes of this also are storm surges, tsunamis happening around the globe, but it leads to many unintended consequences, such as the Great Garbage Patch that you see here. What's also very noticeable, I will show you another image, is that this Great Garbage Patch is actually twice the size of Texas and growing. There are many garbage patches throughout our oceans. Each ocean, we have 4 of them. They each have their own unique garbage patch in them. And then around the world, we can see other garbage patches in places like off the coast of Japan and off the coast of California. So anywhere the current sets and spins and kind of converges with other currents is where we're going to see these major concentrations. But the small particles then get broke down, the fish and marine life, they swallow it, they ingest it, then we eat the fish. So we are putting plastic into our body as well. Plastics have contributed to the major concentrations in oceans around the world. This is just one of them, but 4.8 to 12.7 million tons of plastic finds its way into the oceans each year. Asia and India, according to National Geographic, contribute about 25,940 pounds a day. Not all of this finds its way into the oceans, but about 60% of that waste is unrecycled. 90% of seabirds and 100% of all turtles test positive for plastics in their body, and that is according to National Geographic. And then according to Courtney Lindwall, who wrote the article Single-Use Plastics 101, says that there will be more weight in plastic in the oceans than fish by 2050 if something is not done to reduce single-use plastic waste in the environment. So how can an individual and then even countries contribute to the reduction of single-use waste? Well, according to Sophie Mays, who wrote 10 Simple Ways to Cut Back on Single-Use Plastic in Your Life, she gave many great examples. One of them is support local bans on plastic bags in your area, maybe petition for the bans if they are not already in place in your own communities. Many places around the world, California, New York, Oregon, just to name a few, are some that cities are actually already reducing or banning the use of single-use plastics. You could lobby for legislation through laws and regulations, at the executive level there in Congress. Stop using plastic beverage bottles. Stop picking these. Start carrying one of these. These can be refilled. They're relatively inexpensive, and then you can use them multiple times. And then they actually do hold more than that single-use bottle to begin with. So you could actually have a bigger drink just by purchasing one of these. You stop requesting for the plastic straws. I know this is a lot of our daily life, drinking out of that styrofoam cup. Unfortunately, though, they always give us the lid and the straw, and it's very convenient because we don't want to spill it. But just reducing the straw and the lid is a great step to reduce waste. Also, buying in bulk. A lot of times the single-use plastic is used in packaging of products, and it's just very wasteful. If you can buy the same item as a 10-pack to where you're only getting the packaging once instead of 10 individual times, that would be another great way to reduce your own individual waste. Cook at home more often and avoid the fast food. We all know the fast food restaurants has all kinds of packaging, paper, plastic, cardboard. A lot of that stuff is recyclable, but the plastic and the styrofoam to-go boxes, they are not able to be broken down, and many times they find their ways into the rivers and streams. Write to your favorite companies and push for a reduction in single-use products. Those are all great ways to reduce your ban or to reduce your own consumption. So in conclusion, single-use plastics is something that is present in our daily lives, but if we can become aware of our own use of the single-use plastics, we can begin to start to look to other ways of finding viable solutions to carry our goods from place to place. Using a tote bag would also be another great way. Instead of the single-use plastic bags, begin carrying your own totes for groceries and other items that you purchase along the way. I don't know if we can ever get all of the plastic out of the oceans. But we really can and really do need to start eliminating the own use. It has to come at an individual level. We cannot rely on companies to be responsible. They are big companies. It does need to come with that grassroots individual movement. Thank you very much for listening. I hope I've given you some good information on ways you can reduce your own single-use plastic consumption in the future. And I hope that maybe you will decide to get involved in local community efforts, maybe start a recycling program in your own neighborhood. It's a good cause. Save a lot of waste going to the oceans. Thank you.